This is Tom and Kim from Big Dog Ink Comics.
And you are watching Creative Continuity.
Creative Continuity at New York Comic Con 2014. Get the latest news directly from comic book artists and writers. Tune in for Creative Continuity's coverage of NYCC. We bring the convention to you.
I'm Yana Aronova with Creative Continuity at the New York Comic Con with Big Dog Ink. How did you come about that name?
When we started the company, we actually had two dogs. We had Justice and Adora. And they were absolutely the inspiration for the name and the logo as well. We've since lost both of them. So we have a new mascot. Penny is our new puppy. She's also Mastiff, and she's growing like a weed, and she is amazing. But yes, the dogs are absolutely our inspiration, and we wouldn't have it any other way.
So many comic books have been published, such as Penny for Your Soul, Crater Rex Zombie Killer, and your hit series, The Legend of Oz, The Wicked West. Can you tell us what The Wicked West is about?
Yeah, it's a Western reimagining of The Wizard of Oz. So instead of ruby slippers, Dorothy has ruby spurs, ruby bullets. Toto's her horse. So it's the entire world of Oz is grounded in the Wild West. So while we still have the flying monkeys, the witches, and so on, the world of Oz is westernized. I do about 20, 30 shows a year. And I drive to most of them. And so a few years back, I was driving through New Mexico, Arizona, and I had been trying to find Wicked tickets to go take Kim to go see Wicked. And I was being inundated with the image of Elphaba with her hat down and her smile. And so for whatever reason, as I was driving through New Mexico and it was desert and tumbleweeds and cactus, that image of Elphaba swung around to the front of my head, and it started to blend with everything that I was seeing. And so the witch's hat became a cowboy hat. I started to think about, all the terminology of the Wild West and the Wicked Witch of the West, and everything just started to blend. And I had days on the road, so that idea just kept, tumbleweeding, I guess, and that's how it happened.
And a horse named Toto, come on, that's pretty
The horse
cool.
named Toto, yeah. I mean, we could have definitely still had Toto being a dog or a coyote or something, but I knew that Dorothy had to ride a horse, so it was only made sense to make Toto the horse.
The Legend of Oz, The Wicked West has consistently charted in the Diamond Top 300 list. How does that make you feel?
Oh, it's amazing, honestly. It's great to know that we have the support of the fans and the community. We've been basically welcomed with open arms into this industry since day one, and we couldn't be happier.
It's kind of a dream come true. We started this out because there were so many things both Tom and I enjoyed about comics. Tom definitely even more so than I. He's been immersed in it ever since he was a young kid, and I was just a big fan growing up. And we wanted to make sure that everything that we put out was stuff that we would want to read and stuff that we would enjoy. And you always hope that when you do that the fans respond, and they appreciate the quality and the work and all the blood, sweat, and tears, literally, figuratively, all three of those that you put into your comics. And somehow they really have. It's definitely, we're incredibly thankful, and we really appreciate our fan support, and we try as best we can to give back by making sure that every fan gets treated like they're our most important. We love talking to people, love interacting with them, love just seeing how they're enjoying what we're doing.
That's amazing that they're responding.
Yeah, it's great. It's definitely hard to be an indie comic company right now. You've got the big companies putting out movies that are in front of everybody's attention, and to know that people still will give an indie a chance that maybe doesn't have a huge multi-million-dollar movie behind it, but they still want to read your story. That's really cool.
What are your other top sellers?
Our most recent book, Shahrazad, came out last year. That's easily been one of our biggest successes. That was a concept that I came up with a couple of people, and we handed it off actually for the actual scripting duties and story-wise to Kim and our editor, Carrie Castor. So they actually both script the book, and I kind of oversee the plot lines, but they actually do all the stories and scripting. It's been a gigantic success. Everybody's really rallied behind that book. It's really very different in the way the storytelling is, both from the dialogue standpoint, but also from the art standpoint. We really let the art breathe and let the art tell some of the story as well. So it's a very different kind of reading experience, and people have really loved it.
Yeah, I like to say I got roped into that one. Tom was sitting there, and he was talking about this book that he wanted to do. He said, I've got this awesome concept, but I don't know how to make the hook. How do I bring it onto the page? I want to make a story where there's somebody that's inspired by little bits of things that happen, and then she starts going into this story or that story. So something that's not going to be bound to one genre, that it could be pretty much anything that it wants to be. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. So the storytelling, what you're talking about is a frame story. He's like, okay, yeah, I guess so. I'm like, oh, well, do you know what the most classic frame story is? And like, arguably one of the first. And he said, no, what? I said, well, 1001 Arabian Nights. And I said, oh, and by the way, do you know who one of the main characters was from 1001 Arabian Nights? No, who? That was Shahrazad. She was the Persian queen that told those stories every night to the Sultan and extended the story on to the next day so that he would keep her alive, because he was this kind of evil guy. And before you know it, we're sitting there and I'm telling him, oh, this would be so exciting if you could do this. Oh, and then this could happen and that would be amazing. And before you know it, I ended up writing it, and then our editor makes a great co-writer. So it's a really cool series, and people love that. I mean, they've gone crazy. When we released our #1 issue, it sold out on the day of release. And we were sitting there like, we're this small indie company. You're selling out of thousands of copies through Diamond on your first day of release. It's amazing.
You worked with Dirk Manning before. What was it like working with him?
It was a horrible experience. We don't want anything to do with him ever again. No, Dirk was great. I've known Dirk kind of known Dirk on the internet side for many years. We're both graduates of the digitalwebbing.com website from many, many years ago. And we just kind of ran into each other at show and on Facebook and all that kind of stuff. And we got to talking about what he was doing, and he was learning about what we were doing. And we were at a con. He happened to be right next to us, and we brought him back for a party at our friend's house, and we just kind of talked all night about comics. And by the end of the night, he had gotten himself in a position where he was going to pitch us a story for the origin of the flying monkeys within our Oz series. It just happened that his thought process fit in with where I was in the book, and it fit in with the overall story arc that I was creating anyway. And so I said, yeah, go ahead, pitch me the story. And what he came back with was great, and the fans have loved it, and it's really a great 4-issue arc. And we're looking forward to doing a lot more with Dirk.
He's definitely one of the hardest working guys, next to you maybe, that I've seen. He is all over the place, and he's always willing to lend a hand and talk about your books and really help you as a company. He is a great example of when I say that the people we work with, we like to consider them part of our family, because he just says, whatever that I can do for you to help either promote the book or just be there if you need a helping hand for something. I am always here. So he's a great guy. It's fun.
Aspen bought Big Dog Ink as an imprint.
It's not necessarily a purchase. It is more of a partnership. It's really cool. So that's one of the things we can tell you about it from the get-go. We are going to be producing books under their banner. They're going to be co-branded as Big Dog Ink books and Aspen books. They are an awesome group of people from the get-go when we founded. They were one of the companies that were always there to talk to us, say, hey, how you doing? How's this show doing for you? Oh, you're doing this. It's really cool. They've always been a great group. And so at the beginning of the year, we kind of decided that we were growing so much and had so much great stuff going on, we needed some infrastructure help. And we kind of started to spitball, how should we do this? And one of the ideas was, well, is there anybody out there that has the infrastructure and has all these great resources that we could really use and would really need to take us to the next level? Who is it? Well, Aspen, they seem to be a really great company. We really like them. They've always kind of been there for us, and we really like their business model and how they treat their fans and their artists, and kind of like us. We've always considered everybody that works with us as part of the Big Dog Ink family, and they have that same feeling to their company. And so it seemed like a perfect fit for us, and it's worked out. I think it's really going to be an amazing journey these next 6 months or so to start implementing this and getting some of our cool new products to the fans.
We have our own website, of course, bigdogink.com. It's INK. We're on Facebook as well. Twitter account. Geez, I mean, there's so many of these things anymore. Twitter account is TJH Big Dog Ink.
And you're now going to be able to find our products on the Aspen website and the Aspen page.
I'm Yana Ronova with Creative Continuity at New York Comic Con.
Hi, I'm Dirk Manning with an update from New York Comic Con. All kinds of great books out. Amazing show. If you've not yet come to New York Comic Con, do it. Here's some of the books I have out these days. Nightmare World Trilogy from Image Comics Shadowline. 13 stories in each book. Each story is written by me, drawn by a different artist or art team. What's cool with this series is each story is totally standalone, separate genre of horror. but as you read them all together, they all weave into one giant story. Tales of Mystery from Devil's Due is the newest series. Paranormal troubleshooter living in a world where after the Armageddon and Raptures happened, it's a tie-in to Nightmare World. Everyone wants to believe things went back to normal. Mystery knows they haven't, and he's trying to show the world what's really going on. The Right or Wrong, the book collection, A Writer's Guide to Creating Comics. The column they used to run on Newsarama currently runs every so often on Bleeding Cool. If you're interested in writing comics, this is everything I could tell everybody out there ever. Anything I can tell you about how to go from I want to write comics to all the stuff you see on the table, writing comics. Big Dog Inc. just signed to be an imprint with Aspen Studios. I did a story arc for them. And Legend of Oz, The Wicked West. Hope to have some new stuff coming out with them soon. I can't talk a lot about it yet, but stay tuned. Creative Continuity will know about it as soon as I'm allowed to officially announce it. It is a short story in the Dias de la Mortis anthology. Riley Rossmo tapped 9 of his favorite writers to each write him a story about the Day of the Dead in Mexico. I got to do a story in there. Amazing, amazing book. Well worth checking out. I have all kinds of other anthology work out there, various projects. Go to dirkmanning.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Look for that guy, and we'll talk.
This is Tom and Kim. See, you already blew it. Hi, this is Tom and Kim.
You're supposed to go for
Oh,
big
for Big Dog Inc. Okay,
Oh.
one more time. And from the top.
outtakes. And they're definitely big. The puppy is...
That's why I had to ask.
she's pushing 175 pounds already, so she's still a baby.
She's still 10 months old.
Oh my gosh.
She's going to eat us out of a house and home by the time she's 12-5.
Yes, yes. So she's definitely going to be a big dog.
Buy more comics so we can afford to pay the mascot.